Okay, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Anyways, welcome to Uneducation Station.
Really?
So, of course,
We're
today-
using that?
Yep, of course we are.
Okay.
So today, of course, I'm here with my hostess with the mostest, Arthur,
I am Arthur. Yes.
and he didn't silence his phone because he's a bad streamer.
Well, actually, I was silenced my phone. It was. It wasn't. Oh, I thought it was already. Okay. So what do you want to talk about today? Oh, I was gonna make a good feel.
Oh, you were gonna make.
Go ahead and. I'm just looking through the doc, our script. I mean, our doc.
I mean, yeah, everything on this show is scripted.
Arthur, are you okay? Because I'm not. Some of the stuff that we write in here is really weird. Oh, you know what would be fun to talk about? What if we talk about like online shopping?
I mean, it's just Amazon, and then I
It's
feel like
just
that's
Amazon.
I feel like that's the end of that conversation.
Okay, but what about, like the fate of brick and mortar stores and stuff like that,
Yeah, I mean,
How do you feel about that, Zach? How do you feel about, because there's a lot of people that are anti-Amazon, anti-Newegg and stuff like that. Amazon is what's causing brick and mortar stores to have to shut down and stuff. And that was extremely apparent during the pandemic,
right.
I mean, nobody wanted to leave their house. Nobody wanted to go to a brick and mortar store. Amazon was the first choice. All right, online shopping. A whole, basically year later, we're all used to Amazon. We have Amazon Prime, Newegg now, whatever they call it,
Yeah,
B&H,
Newegg,
Newegg, B&H, and
H?
free delivery. I don't know. We basically just forced everybody to use online shopping for almost a year because of the pandemic, because of quarantine and stuff, right?
because of
Because of Cabbage 19.
yeah.
And because of that, now we're in an age where most people just got an online shop now. And we're so used to it. We did it for an entire year, like I said. We all have Amazon Prime now and stuff. What's going to happen, man? We saw what happened to Netflix,
I mean, yeah,
Redbox, or we saw what happened to Redbox and Blockbuster. You okay? Oh,
What the?
nice.
I went to
Nice.
take the bear off, and it was just like, nah, I'm gonna leave just the tiniest
Yeah,
strand.
That's not gonna. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, it's still there. That's okay.
Anywho,
Anywho.
yeah, it's definitely a really hard thing to kind of indicate right now, just because we are still in the Cabbage Batch kids, Babbage catch bids.
We just finished eating, so we're in a weird limbo state right now.
Yeah, and
So,
also
yeah.
if for some reason whenever I eat stuff with guacamole in it, it just makes all of the mucus that has ever existed just go down my throat unconsensually.
We had Mexican food. It was pretty
We
good.
did, we had some damn good Mexican food. But yeah, it's really hard to kind of make a prediction on what the future is going to look like because we are kind of still in it in a way.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously we're not in hardcore lockdown and all of that kind of stuff, but we're still kind of at the point to where we don't really know what it's going to look like in a year, because people are being stupid.
No, America is being stupid, Zach.
Yeah, that's fair.
The North America, everywhere that isn't an Asian country is being stupid, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking about masks, by the way.
Yeah.
Wear your damn mask. Anyways.
Anywho. Yeah, it's, I mean,
Well, okay, think about it like this, Zach. Online shopping, most stores don't have it because, you got to set it up, and e-commerce and stuff. Delivery, that's a different thing, And there's a lot of people that are anti-Amazon, anti-online shopping and stuff because they're just billion-dollar corporations that are stealing money from, brick and mortar stores and stuff, putting them out of business. And I always say, if you can't support your local stores and stuff, I know during the pandemic, there was this, this really big movement, a little opposite of online shopping, where it's like, hey, because we can't leave the house, the quarantine and stuff, DoorDash and stuff is being cool now. But instead of DoorDashing like McDonald's or something, or nothing wrong with those, of course, but instead of these large chains, fast dude, Grubhub, DoorDash, whatever, shop at like your local place because they set it up too now, you know?
Yeah.
And they need those to survive. You know, the smaller local shops.
Yeah.
Smaller local like food stops, you know?
Dude, I'm so bummed because my like one of the favorite places that I used to go to, it's called the Mill Creek Pub. And they ended up closing permanently along with another little cafe that I used to go to with my family a whole bunch. And it's really unfortunate, dude. Like it's super unfortunate to see all of these small companies not be able to handle the financial hardships that the pandemic ended up having. And so, you know, and when
it's tough because we're Amazon shop. We're totally fine with online shopping. I mean, you don't see it on camera. You've seen it before on camera though. Boxes are everywhere in this room, you know?
Yeah.
And I understand where people who are anti-Amazon and them, I understand where they're coming from. I get it. I understand that what Amazon and Jeff Bezos is doing or whatever is like being this online vendor of all sorts of things and bring all sorts of things together in one whole place. What does that sound like, Zach? One place for everything. One thing for everything.
Communism.
No, yes, but no, Zach, monopoly.
Monopoly money? Yeah, no, I get what you're saying though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
we already talked about monopoly, but that's an example of it, you know?
Yeah.
Amazon being like I just realized I didn't change the picture behind me, but Amazon being the monopoly of just sales and stuff, I guess. I don't know the best way to say it because before I mentioned, God damn it, before, excuse me, I mentioned that like Google, for example, they can't be in a monopoly technically because they're trying so many different avenues. They're not one specific avenue, right? So they can't necessarily be a monopoly because their scope is too large. Amazon, though, is an online e-retailer.
Right.
It's like Best Buy website. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
And it has products and you can buy it and it's free shipping sometimes and, you know.
Yeah.
You get access to like cheap knockoff stuff that might not be on the shelves, so it's even cheaper. You don't have to buy name brand.
Right.
I mean, it's so convenient.
So I feel like I might be a little bit of an interesting case. I may not be, but what I kind of strive to do is I try my best to make it so that if I can get something like at a store near me locally,
right?
Sure. No, I'm definitely gonna do that.
You should, yes, and you should.
You know, like we like when I went to go pick up this camera, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
it was at a Best Buy.
Yeah, it was at a Best Buy.
You didn't deliver. We just went there.
We just ended up going in and picking it up and doing all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I was looking around as much as I could for the little adapter-y-do thing that I needed. And they just didn't have it. And so that's when I ended up resorting to going online and buying it that way. Mm-hmm. But if I can find something at like, you know, Walmart, Fred Meyer's, Albertsons, anything like that, then I would probably prefer to do that as opposed to just buying everything on Amazon because, you know, I don't know. There's just something about going to the store and picking something up.
Yeah, sure.
There's just like that tactile, like the satisfaction of going into a store, walking around a little bit, looking for, searching around, trying to find what you're looking for. And then that moment where you're like, oh, I found it. Hell yeah.
Definitely.
You know, there's kind of something cathartic about that, that you can't really get for shopping online. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that, especially in our space, like in tech and all of those types of things that you can't really find in stores because it's very, very niche. And
yes,
so
that's true.
That's when places like Amazon or anything like that, like online stores, that's when they kind of start to be super helpful and just be like, okay, cool. So I found this VGA to DisplayPort adapter, you know, just like something super random and weird that, you know, you probably wouldn't find at your local electronics store.
Yeah. See, I agree. 100%. I agree with the people that are anti-Amazon and stuff. I agree with people. Well, maybe not agree, maybe agree is not the right word. I see where they're coming from.
Right.
Those type of people, I see where you're coming from, and you should. And I think yours is the most healthiest way to do it. But I cannot agree because I am a hypocrite. I would be a hypocrite if I agree because I am an 100% online shopper. And I don't necessarily know when or why, because I agree. I also enjoy going to the store and looking at things and seeing things myself and buying things and stuff in the store. 100%. I totally get it. But the convenience, I'm sure you know, but I'm someone who prioritizes efficiency. You know, everything I do what's cost effective, time as well as actual literal cost, what's convenient, and what's fast, but what's quality.
Right.
I just changed numbers from 4 to 6. You know, I understand why, you know, what bad things could happen if we go into an Amazon only life, you know? I understand how that can be very odd and we'll end up going to be like Wall-E and stuff like that, you know? Where we don't ever leave our house or even walk and we're just in space wheelchairs and shit. I understand where that can be coming from. But I don't know. It's not that I'm lazy. It's just when personally, I just have a lot of things going on. So it's just way more convenient to have Amazon Prime ship it to me for free in 2 days.
Yeah.
For me. But for most people, I think. And there's a lot of use cases where it's like, you know, maybe you're too far out to go to the store and they deliver, for some reason Amazon can go to your house or whatever. That's a good reason, you know? And, you know, that makes sense. You don't have to drive all the way like 5-6 miles, so to like maybe you live in a rural area or something. I don't know if Amazon goes to rural areas, but what if they do?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be way better than driving 6 miles, you know, to the nearest local store. You know, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, and my aunt lives up north of Spokane, and just straight up out in the boondocks. Like, I think her mailbox is like 2 miles away from her house.
Jesus.
And so, like, you know, for her, obviously shopping online is a pretty damn good way to go. But, you know, for me, you know, I'm like 2 miles down the road from a Walmart.
Sure. Well, same,
so,
you know.
Yeah, it's like there has to be like certain circumstances where I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go to the store. You know, it's like obviously for like food and drinks and that kind of stuff. But
food and drinks and like groceries is a little different story.
Yeah.
But I think I just positioned my Squirtle weird because this keeps falling. Anyways, that's besides the point. Like here's a good example. Books. Because I recently got into them, as I was talking about. This keeps falling. I've been reading, I think I mentioned this many times before already. I've been reading Oregairu. When I said I was reading it, I wasn't actually reading it. I just bought the books. I also bought the Chinese books, but you know, you can watch that episode.
That was so funny.
That was really bad. I still have them though. They're over there actually. And then
wait, he let you keep them?
Yeah, he let me keep them.
Oh, what a nice guy.
I know. And I still feel bad about it because I want to give him his money back. If he's going to make me keep it, I'd rather give him his money back. Fuck, dude. He even said thanks, smiley face, man.
Someone's getting horny out there.
Words. Nobody even heard that. You did.
Someone honked their horn outside, and I was.
No, someone's having a time outside right now.
Yeah,
right out there. Anyways, so I've been reading Oregairu. Not like too much, but if you don't know, my teen romance is not what I expect. Oh fuck, what is it? My teen romance is wrong. It's right here. My youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected. Great series. I'm gonna make Zach watch it. You guys know, anybody who's watched it knows it's a great series because it's one of those series where it's like, if you know,
now I get to watch it.
Yeah, that's great. And then we could talk about school hierarchy.
Dude, it's so funny because that's the types of conversations that we have whenever we watch an anime that's like based in high school or middle school or like whatever. just because like that's where our brains go. And I know that we were talking about Amazon and shit, but yeah, I just have to bring it up every single time we talk about it, just because it's super.
Oh, we're going to talk about it a lot during that school, educational system episode.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we should call that episode the Education Station.
No, that would be true uneducation station, if anything. Because that one is going to be anti-school. Well, not anti. Okay, well, you'll see.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Yes. Which sounds ironic, or that sounds now. It sounds like we're a hypocrite because I'm an online shopper, so I'm feeding into these corporations. But that's for a different reason, and we'll talk about it then. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I got this book, bought it from Amazon because it's cheaper, but. Recently, I don't have it. I usually have it, but not recently. It was about a month ago. I went to take my car to a mechanic. Those, and then
words are hard.
Words are very hard, and it's right by the mall, but specifically right by the Target, which is right by Barnes and Noble. So I took my car there, did the thing, and then I was like, all right, I got like 2 hours. Let's just walk to a Barnes and Noble. It's been fucking forever. Well, not technically, because before that, I actually went to it again with my brother because I don't know what the reason. No, we were in the area. We were driving for some reason. I cannot fucking remember. And I think we had to wait for something. I don't know. But then we were by Barnes & Noble, and then I was like, hey, you want to just go to the Barnes & Noble and then check out the manga section? Because since then we haven't been to a Barnes & Noble since we were kids.
Right.
So we were like, you know what? Let's just go and see what's up. And by the way, their manga selection is huge now.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like so good. And I did not back then the manga selection only had like Naruto and shit. And it wasn't even a manga section. It was like fitted into like the fiction section or some shit like that. I don't even know. But that was how it was back then. I go there now and they have their own dedicated like two rows, bookshelves of just manga. And not just like your Demon Slayers or your Naruto's, but a bunch of stuff. Oregaru was there, both the novel and the manga. I was like, what? That's crazy. And so many quintuplets was there. Bokuben was there. Bro, there was so much stuff. All these titles you don't know. But what I'm trying to get at is I was having a time in this store, Mm-hmm. And so much so that after the next time I went, right, I didn't buy anything that time. But when I went to take my car to the mechanic, I decided to walk to Barnes & Noble because it's a vibe. It's nearby. I also get a walk. It's a nice day. Why not? I go there and I had my iPad. I brought my iPad because I knew I was going to be there for a while. So I was just getting work done as I do,
Right.
Emails and shit,
And shit.
As one does.
As one might.
And I pick up a book. It's still an anime book, a J book, a light novel. And it's Bakemonogatari. You guys know that one? Anyways, I haven't even watched any Monogatari. I've watched Bakemonogatari, but it's a huge thing. Like it's tons of seasons. It's like a really big thing. I don't know if I'd ever get you to watch it, but it's way too big. I haven't even watched it, so that's that says something. But I picked up the book, like the first volume, and I was like, you know what? I'll just grab this. I took my Mac or my iPad. I walked to the Starbucks and I just kind of sat down and did work and I read and Zach, it was a vibe.
Yeah,
I was having a time,
Yeah,
and then you know what I did? I ended up buying the book.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
hell yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I've never been in like that type of scenario where I just like sit down in a bookstore and just read a book. And then I was like, man, this book is intriguing. Let me check it out or buy it.
I think that's one of the reasons why I love brick and mortar stores and especially bookstores. Like, have you ever been to Powell's Books in Portland?
No, I have not.
It is a massive bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went there one time. And I was just wandering around like an absolute madman. And just looking at all the different types of books that they had. And like, I'm surprised that I didn't end up blowing like $300 there because it was like, there was so much stuff that I was interested in. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, the ability to be able to just kind of peruse around and see what stuff you might be interested in. Like, I think that is a part of the reason why we still have like Barnes & Noble, Powell's Books.
Sure.
Stuff like that, because when you're able to just walk around and look at different books and do all that kind of stuff, and especially when you're able to check them out, like in a library.
You know what that reminds me of? Sorry, but like when in Josie, that like bookstore, the atmosphere, dude. That was, I don't know. It just reminded me of that. And that was really cool.
Dude, do you remember back in the day when they used to actually like do book readings and all that kind of stuff at Barnes and Noble?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I never was a part of those. I mean, I didn't go to Barnes and Noble very often.
Dude, I used to go all the time when I was a kid. Just because I actually don't even know why. I think
we went.
I don't even remember what it was for. I honestly don't even remember why I went there all the time, but like I used to be a bookworm when I was a kid, like when I was younger.
Lucky.
Like, dude, I used to read at like a high school level when I was in like 4th grade. Damn. And it was super weird.
Odd flex.
Well, I mean, I swear, like I read at a 3rd grade level now, so I think it kind of evened out a little bit. But you know, it's really interesting because like I got super into the Harry Potter series and like all of science fiction. Like I read a lot of I don't know if you know who James Patterson is. He's an author.
What does he make?
He makes a bunch of like science fiction, murder mystery type stuff.
Probably not. Titles.
Oh shit. I'm trying to think of ones that are like super, super well known by him. But there was a book series that I read called Maximum Ride. And it's like a science fiction thing about like people who had wings and shit. It was super cool.
Is it a movie? Oh, wait. Oh no. Oh, novel series, yeah.
Yeah, it's a book series. But it was super, super interesting, and I'm pretty sure I have all of those books at home.
That's cool, man. Wait. Manga. I was gonna say, wait a minute. This is very manga. Did they adapt a manga, or is this just a same title?
I think they might have adapted a manga.
That's interesting. Time to read the manga. Let's go.
Dude, okay, but the funny thing is that I would totally read it because that's just one of those things, like one of those book series that I got super, super into. And anytime I had to like read a book and like write something about it, it was one of those books. And I've read every single one of them, I think.
See, I'm jealous of you, man, because
for the last one, I think.
Me growing up, I was just like not a book guy. Like I just couldn't. I've before, like from preschool to high school, I read a total of 3 books that were not. No, I think 2 books. I read a total of 2 books, Zach, that were not like that weren't for book reports, like for school, right? For a book report or a project, right? I read 2 books that were not from there. One was, oh gosh, it was called Hero. I don't remember what it was about. I don't remember what who the author was. But I remember for some reason I really had a good time. I had a very good time reading it, but for some reason I just do not remember. I think it's been forever. I read it in middle school, so I don't really remember what it was about or anything. A second book. Oh fuck. Maybe I only read 1 book. I don't know. I swear there was another book. But yeah, I just couldn't. My attention span was too small. I'm not dyslexic, but for some reason, whenever I read, I just have a hard time focusing. I just couldn't get into it. I was more into reading like I read a couple of manga back then, you know, like Naruto. I showed you the Shonen Jump thing.
Yep.
I have. Oh, maybe no. I don't know if I should bring it. But in my room, I have like really old like Legend of Zelda manga and Pokemon manga.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have those, and I read those, you know, and you know, we mentioned before, like I made comics and shit back in school and middle school and stuff. That was just fun, but that's what I was more into, and I just couldn't read at all. I just couldn't. I would only read if I was forced to. For some reason, and I hated that because before, you know, back then, middle school, high school, you fucking nerds, you know, whatever. I don't care. I'll read my Naruto manga, bro. Get fucked, you know. Get fucked. But you know, like
yeah.
But now that I'm older, I really regret it because I just know books are like just this untapped gold mine that I've never touched. of just fiction, nonfiction, of just storytelling, you know? And it's this medium that I'm just not able to do because my brain's stupid. And I can't focus on just reading if there's no visuals, moving parts, animation, that type of stuff. But then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna stop being a bitch.
Fucking read a book.
I'm gonna read a book. So what I did was I went online and I started, you know, I'm into anime. It's like, you know what? A good way to probably read is maybe to read an anime series that I like. So I have an incentive. You know, I know I know the characters in this general story. I'm still gonna read it, of course, but I know what's gonna happen and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And even if it's slow, even if I have to painstakingly go through it, even if I have to go back a paragraphs or two and reread them, I'm gonna do it. So what I did was I read a couple chapters, of this show called Akashic Records of a Bastard Magic Instructor.
Yeah, you told me about that one.
Great series. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite magic animes, just period. I think, honestly, maybe it is I think it is my favorite magic anime, period, just basically, just on the premise of how they did magic. I think it's because it's just so different from the way I've ever seen magic and done in an anime.
Right.
Where they break it down, where they make it so it makes sense and stuff like that. I don't know. And it was very interesting. And the dynamic of a teacher and teaching the students or whatever, I thought that was cool. Anyways, I started reading it. And oh my gosh. First of all, yes, it was as painstaking as I thought. I don't even think that's the right word. Am I using the right word? Is that the right word? It was as painstaking, but it wasn't really, I don't know. It was slow. And I had to sit there and
painstakingly slow.
Painstakingly slow. Me though, because I'm a slow reader. Like I said, I'm bad at reading. I sat there and just like trucked through all the words and stuff. And sometimes, okay, let me go back up. I was reading it on my phone, right? And it was difficult because, like, you know, like I said, I'm not good at reading. I'm just sitting here and I'm reading. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I'd rather read the manga or watch the anime. But then I got a little farther and I kept reading, and I knew it was the same idea that I was talking to you before. I know it's going to be good. There's just this barrier of me not being able to read and things being slow that I have to get through in order to get to the good parts. And I kept reading, and the more I read, the more that we talked about before of like reading the manga of the anime or whatever to get the extra details and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm sitting here reading. Dude, there's so much oh my gosh, the extra details that they add just enhance my anime experience so much more. Like the little details that they add, maybe different extra dialogue that the characters may have, I know in, like I was saying, how they break down the magic and stuff, right? In the anime, they do a little bit, but it was more very general so that, you know, they can move on with the anime. In the book, bro, they're going at it.
They're just like, I'm gonna do a whole ass chapter of this shit.
Yes.
And
dude, it's so cool.
That's the coolest thing, is that especially people who are very just inherently creative, and they can kind of create that world in their mind, and like and especially when you have like a more of like a physical representation of what that stuff looks like after watching the anime, like I'm sure it makes it so much easier to be able to just kind of put yourself in that world and be able to be like, okay, so this is what's happening. This is what the characters look like, sound like. This is what they're doing. This is what this looks like. And then you take all of that extra detail and all of the things that they didn't put into the show, and you're just like, oh fuck, that's really cool. And for me, for the longest time, like the books that I read were like exclusively sci-fi.
Right.
Because I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. My dad's a huge sci-fi nerd. You know, I remember my dad and I sitting and watching have you seen the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still?
No.
Oh. Well,
I've not seen a lot of movies, so
it's okay. It's fine. So it was a movie that was recreated from a movie that was made in the 1950s.
Today.
So my dad and I sat down and watched the 1950s version, that one.
Whoa.
Pretty sure it came out in 1952.
I've seen this cover before, or whatever, or poster movie thing before.
But yeah, it's really interesting because
what's it about?
Oh god.
1951, Zach. Let's hear it.
1951. So basically, it's about this big old robot thing that comes down and starts causing a bunch of havoc and shit. That thing, yeah. And that's all I remember because I haven't seen.
He steals a woman.
He steals a woman,
Yes.
and then they become friends, and then they're like fish are friends, not food, and then he goes away in his ship, and everything's all hanky fucking dory. But it's really fascinating to just kind of watch that type of stuff at a young age, and read those types of books and all of that, and like my dad got me into reading audiobooks and all that.
That's fun.
And so, yeah, like I was reading a lot. I was listening to a lot of audiobooks. I was doing all that. And yeah, dude, it was really, really interesting. And maybe that's why I was so bad at school. Well, I mean, I always have been, but
I really wanted to watch or read. I just wanted to read, man. Because all my friends are reading like light novels of the animes and the mangas that I love. And I'm like, man, first of all, I call them light novel nerds. Like, okay, relax, bro. But I'm saying it ironically because as I've explained before, I don't care about that stuff that much. But I really wanted to, man, because I want for the same reason that I explained that that I read manga was because I want to know more that happens in the anime.
right.
Because the anime ends or it leaves out details. I'm like, I want to know more. You read the manga and you get into that. And then the same idea from we want to know more of the manga. Well, the manga usually finishes it, but if not, you read the light novel. Or even if the manga does finish it, you read the light novel for even more detail. Like so I like for this anime, Akashic Records, man, how do I even? I was the first like arc, I guess if you will, like these terrorists raid the school. And then they like, so basically, without spoiling anything, this girl right here, this blonde girl, she's very important. And they I mean, it's not that much of a spoiler. You'll figure it out like towards the first couple of episodes, but I'll just in case, they want her for a reason. So they terrorist stuff the school and stuff. Terrorize the school, do terrorist stuff, break into the school, into the academy and, hold students hostage and stuff. And in the anime, oh my gosh, it's not that, I don't know. It was very anime and it was very like, it was definitely like, oh gosh, there's terrorists, and they're bad guys and we got to beat the bad guys up, and all that. In the novel, bro, it's so much scarier. Like the way they describe it and everything, it's like you can like almost feel the fear in the students of like these people that are actually going to kill them.
Right.
Actually holding them hostage.
Dude, and I really, really enjoy the way that people are able to describe certain things.
Yes.
And the linguistics that they use. It is just so cool. And I wish that I was smart enough to be able to explain things in the sheer amount of detail that writers can. Because it's just absolutely amazing. Like, oh my gosh, dude. If I could write something that was like, that good, as good as the show that's no longer there.
Yeah, that one.
That's that.
That one.
And I mean, you're just describing it to me and it sounds like a fucking banger.
It is a banger.
It
I need to get back to reading this. Oh, yikes. But yeah, it's a very cool show. I mean, maybe it's only 12 episodes. We can give it a watch, but
binge it one day.
Like, dude, I was watching, dude, I just can't. Okay, there was this one line during that terrorist arc, because this is as far as I got. I only read the terrorist arc. It's been a while since I read it, because I read the first couple chapters, and this was the novel that I was using to test the waters, right? I was reading this novel. Okay, maybe let's see if I can get into the novels from this, right? So I read a couple chapters, realized, yep, I can get into novels. So I got Origaru, and I bought Bakemonogatari, that's over there. And I'm having a time. I remember there was one particular line. It's so simple, but like, I don't even remember how it went. But during the terrorist arc, when they were holding the students hostage, one of the girls was being taken away by the terrorist. And in the anime, it's yeah, you can see the fear and they're scared or whatever, and they take her away. But then in the novel, they add this extra line where the girl talks to her friend before leaving, and she's like, everything's gonna be okay, and so whatever. And then there's like, you can see this fear in their it's just shaking. So the way they describe it, oh my gosh, I was like literally gonna cry while reading this book, Zach. I was like, I feel so scared. I feel so sorry for these students. Oh man, I just can't describe it. I really can't. But now that I'm reading the novel, I understand. I understand how just these no pictures or anything. I think it's because of that. There are pictures. There's a couple pictures like here and there or whatever, but there's probably like in a 100 to 200 page light novel, there's probably like 10 pictures, Right. So not a lot, but just here and there, just for fun. But you focus, you're just not distracted by anything else. I think you're just reading. Nothing else matters around you. Like I say, you can immerse yourself in anime, right? Like you can sit in your bed, curled up or whatever, and think of anime and only anime. But I feel like because there's so much like manga, there's pictures, and animation, there's animation. In anime, there's animation.
In animation,
there's anime. Those are cool, and they are cool. I'm not saying no. I'm only gonna read light novels now. I'm a nerd. Just read, but reading the light novel is so different because like I said, you have just that to focus on, and you just have those details to let your imagination run wild. There was in Oregon, like specifically, how we talked about like AR and stuff, and how I just said anime girls just cannot exist in our existence.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not how that works because it's too fantastical, it's too imaginative. Like this character, she can't just be right here. Like we can't just. That's just not how it works. Like how would that even work? She's 2D.
Right.
In a 3D, how does that doesn't work like that? But the way they described, oh my gosh, like there was just this one line of the main character Hachiman. He just walks in and or they're talking with this girl who is Yukinoshita. She's one of the main girls, and they're just like talking or whatever, and then she like lets out a smile, and then the author says like, well, it's in first person, so Hachiman says like, whenever she smiles, her canine pops out. It's kind of cute or whatever, stuff like that. You don't get that in the anime. That sounds so stupid, right? But when you imagine that, I don't know, that sounds so cute. It sounds like you add these extra characters to give this two-dimensional, almost dropped it, character more realistic life. And that's something that you can't really like how does that sound to you right now? Like when she let out a little chuckle, you can see her canines a little bit. I thought that was kind of cute. How do you see that in anime? Or a manga?
You can't really see that in anime because
you're picturing is a real person now.
Yeah.
Now, with no association of a character of an anime or anime character, 2D anime waifu girl, you associate Hachiman, the main character, in a real classroom talking to a real girl, and she laughs, and you can see like her teeth or whatever, and when she laughs. You don't imagine this anymore. Glare. You don't imagine this anymore. You imagine a girl.
Right.
I don't know. That it's just something so simple like that, but that's what I'm trying to say. You no longer associate that character with this. I mean, you can, but not in the same way. Now you associate you associate this character with a real girl.
Right. And I think one of the cool things about having the only limitation be your imagination is that you can take these fictional characters and think about them in a real world type of way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of my favorite things about reading, and especially reading reading fiction, mm-hmm. is that you kind of have that liberty to only be limited by your creativity on what you can imagine these characters look like, sound like, act like. Mm-hmm. That's something that is really interesting to sit down and think about. And not only that, but like especially when it's something that you're really, really interested in too. And like for you, for you,
It's been a long day.
yeah, it has been a long day. For you, it's anime, and for me, it's science fiction, all of those types
Sure.
of things. Like once it's something you enjoy, a medium that you enjoy, and the story being told in a way that is just absolutely like, oh, really, really good. And then, you kind of have that level of creativity, and, you and I both latch on to the little things and everything
Yes.
that we watch together. And so, it's those little details, like you said, that one line, that just ended up sticking out to you. And it could be that one line. It could be that one scene. It could be that one shot, it could be anything that just kind of sticks out in your head. And, I could tell you at least a scene from every show I've watched, or like, all of the books that I've read, just kind of describe a scene. And it's super cool. It's super interesting. But yeah, I lost where I was going with all that.
We've been just been tangenting at this point. I don't know. We're talking about books and stuff, even though we're supposed to talk about like Amazon and stuff. But I mean,
Jeff Bezos,
space and shit, and Amazon and stuff.
Jeffrey Bezos.
God, that was terrible. That was awful. I don't know. I've just been reading. I've been having a lot of fun. There was this one. My friend Jelly, he got me to, because I read, I think I talked about it before, but the time I got reincarnated into a slime, this is anime. And then I'm reading the manga, and it's my current favorite ongoing manga, period. And I was talking about how it's just so much, it's so cool from the anime. And then he was saying, but oh man, I read the novel. Oh yeah, like that, like, oh, I'm a novel reader, one of those nerds I was making fun of earlier. But I was describing a scene in the anime that was done really well in the manga, and even the manga made it even better. And oh, I'll do you one better. The way in the light novel they did it, I was like, whoa, that's still cool,
I think the thing that makes it so interesting is that the anime, it's animation and dialogue.
Yes.
And then in the manga, it's the drawing, the dialogue, and some background information. And then in the light novel, the only thing that they use is dialogue and the narrative description. And there are certain things that you can describe. If you do it properly, you can describe them in a way to where you have a perfect picture in your mind.
Yes.
And there are certain things, certain nuances to writing, especially like a light novel, that you can't really do it well in a manga or in an anime.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Oh fuck, that was really weird. Like, we were talking about this earlier, but like No Game No Life, right? We talked about this way back when we were doing, I think, the No Game No Life episode, where this idea, like, okay, so there are pictures, like I said, there's like probably like 10 or 12 pictures in a light novel of like 100 or 200 pages. Not as much as like your typical like book with illustrations here in the West. They're here and there now and then. And usually when they are, they're like, let me see if I can find an example. They're not really like descriptive pictures. They're just more just for fun, like the characters or something. Oh, like the characters or something. You can't, or something like this, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have not read No Game No Life, and I've not seen anything in No Game No Life, so I can't really attest to it, but I assume it's a similar idea. And if there's only like 10 or so pages or pictures of what it could be, I mean, you saw the anime,
Yeah.
There's this entire world that's built.
Around words.
Around descriptions, That's really cool. And I feel like, if you're reading the novel and then you watch the anime, you're like, wow, this is totally like something I imagined. And now you get to see something you imagined in real life, like materialized, basically.
Yeah.
But this is if it never became an anime, imagining these landscapes, environments and stuff in your brain while you're reading the book,
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I never really understood until I started reading Origai and reading more like, more light novels. I get it now. I get it. Reading books. I'm doing it, Zach. I'm reading books. I'm being a good guy. I'm being a good boy. I'm reading my books now. I mean, there's an anime girl on the cover, so that helps. But, they're books nonetheless.
I'm very proud.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That means, Zach, that means so much to me. I don't think you understand. As someone who's despised books, who has silently made fun of all my friends who read books. I made a joke. I just said, it's just an anime girl. But it's a book. Like,
with words and shit.
It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a light novel, whatever that means to you. There's an anime girl on the cover, and there's a couple pictures here and there. But this is a book. They're paragraphs.
I mean, and honestly, as far as books go, I mean, that doesn't really seem like it's that big of a commitment, really. Like, if you sit down and think about it, like, one of the volumes of that book is what, like 200 pages?
Yeah, just about 200. Yeah, about 200 pages. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about shows that aren't very much of a commitment because, it's like 12, 20 episodes or whatever. And the same thing could be said about a novel, especially a light novel, because, in the name, it's not that big of a book. And so you can just sit down, have a read, have a time. It might take you like a week or something, and then you'll be done with it. And then you can just go on your merry way and be like, yeah, that was a good read. And, if you want to keep going and reading more volumes and doing all that kind of stuff, then you can do that. But I think that that's really awesome that that you found something that you're interested in. And as much as I'll sit here and joke like, I'm proud of you, son, I do think that it's really awesome that you found something like that, because it's hard. It's hard, dude, especially in today's day and age. It's hard to pick up a
book, man.
Like, especially when we're surrounded by a bunch of different mediums of entertainment that require a lot less effort.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were saying earlier, but like audiobooks, okay, I'm joking. Okay, audiobooks is interesting because I actually enjoy audiobooks. I don't really read them, but when I had to read like book reports, I did audiobooks. If there was an audiobook, even if it was a shit quality, I did that because I didn't want to read, right? So that's my experience with audiobooks. And they made it a little more bearable. And, sometimes it's kind of fun. And if it's a good audiobook, then the person reading it might, act as that character and kind of enunciate with them and pretend like they're their character, change their voice, whatever. It's kind of fun, Yeah. It's kind of fun. But it's definitely a different experience than actually sitting down and reading the book than listening to an audiobook of a book. Now, would I say I can't... Okay. I'm not against it because that's basically the same idea as saying like manga is different than the light novel, because it is different, but they're both good. The light novel or the manga adaptation is basically saying, or is basically in the same essence as audiobook adaptation or something like that, right? But you don't have to read it. But when you are reading it, that's very different. I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're yourself. I think it's the more factors you add. Audio adds a factor in that reading experience.
Right.
You are no longer just reading. There is a new factor.
There's a new thing that's added to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
But if you're looking for that homegrown, raw, just, that type of experience, then you just read it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if there's anything more satisfying than being able to just get really comfy in a chair and just have a good book, and you got some good light going, and you're just like sitting there having a time reading your book.
Bro,
dude, okay, when I was a kid, I used to sit in the same spot. And this chair is actually in my room now. It used to be downstairs in my house. But I used to sit in this one chair for hours, and I would just sit there and read. Like, I would sit there and read until there was no more light coming in. So I was sitting like right behind a window so that the light would just shine straight onto the book, because I'm a nerd. And I remember I would sit there and read until the entire room was like pitch black and there was no more natural light in there. And I would get yelled at by my parents because they'd be like, hey, it's time to eat dinner. And I would just sit there and ignore them. Not because I was ignoring them, but it was because I was just like so
Engrossed.
yeah, just engrossed and engulfed
Nice word,
into.
Arthur. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good word. Honors English too.
Honest English too, by the way, just in case I didn't mention it before.
But
Bless you.
thanks. But yeah, it's really interesting when you find that book that just attracts your attention and
Yes.
makes it so that you want to read it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, for my homies out there who are like me, guy like me, guy like this, right?
Yep.
Guy like me doesn't like reading, likes watching movies, anime, shows, whatever it be. He gets into manga. Okay, it's a little no more moving parts, more reading. Getting there. But I want more. So I think did I say this already? Like getting into manga, basically, the way I would personally do it is to read a manga of an anime series you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. Same exact thing for novels. Or light novels. If you want to get into like night novels, light novels, like me, you know, guy like me, you get a manga series, or even an anime series that you like, and you want to know more. You try the light novel because you have that extra association. I know the characters. I know how they speak. I know how their voices. I know their personalities. You know, a lot of that stuff is already built for me, so I can probably more just focus on trying to read. And like I said, I'm stupid. I am really bad at reading. I can barely read at like a second grade level. I'm really shit. I don't know why. Although I can write. Honors English 2, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Anyways, I gotta stop doing that.
By the way, I just want the people at home to know. Arthur put me in charge of writing the descriptions.
Yes. Oh, dude, I'm very.
So, like, you know, we were sitting down here, writing down the descriptions to one of the last episodes, and you were just sitting there like,
oh, I was English professoring you, bro. Yeah. I was hitting you with the corrections and everything because I told you I can't read, but I can write. I'm really good at writing, so you know. I was helping you, you know. I was just helping enhance, I guess. And I mean, even you saw, you know, there's a lot of things to, you know, making it even just something as simple as a YouTube description, things to leave out, things to add and stuff. You know, that's a different topic, but it's funny, you know. You know, I'm not just, or what am I trying to say? I'm putting my money where my mouth is, you know.
Yeah,
Honors English too. It's like I've been running this gag for a while, but I have things to prove for it. All right. Anyways, except the reading part. That one's not. The reading part's out the window. But you know,
Arthur's like, I write at a college level, but I read.
But I read like preschooler.
I read like the dog and the cat jump over the hill.
But after I obtained this association, well, not even with Origami, I said with the Akashic Bastard, the magic instructor, right? Akashic Records, that one. So I had that association. Okay, all that stuff is done for me. Now I just need to focus on reading. I was able to do that, and I had a time. Mm-hmm. I had to muscle my way through it, of course, because like I just explained a couple minutes ago, bad at reading. So a lot of scrolling back, a lot of rereading paragraphs and stuff. But I just said,
I can't read.
I can't read. Or what was that ASDF thing? I can't read.
Oh my gosh.
ASDF movie, bro. That was great.
Dude.
Those are good times.
Oh my gosh. We should have a nostalgic YouTube episode.
That would be great. Anyways.
I think you're the reason why I started watching those.
Was I?
I think you were.
Oh, man. That was the humor back then, man. Just lol, haha, random XD humor stuff.
Yeah.
That was the humor. Just random shit happening. I don't know why. Anyways, weird times. But, you know, after I have all that association created for me, I just focus on trying to read. Even if it was painful, even if it was like, I didn't really understand that paragraph. Let me reread the whole page or something. Just do it. And then at some point, you'll get your groove. At some point.
Yeah. And
then after you finally got in your groove, bro, I'm flying through this book. I'm still reading slow because I'm a slow reader in general. Like even manga, I probably take 3 times as long as my friends who read manga. Not because I can't read, I'm just slow at reading now. So now I've shifted.
Okay, wait. I have a
Yes.
correction. You're not slow. You're just. Let me sit up. You're just methodical in your reading. Like you're very
Good word.
deliberate with the amount of time that you spend on each page. I feel like my mic is slowly sinking down, and so I'm just
this knob a good tighten.
I'm just like posturing around it, and it's just like
Maybe give the knob a little.
give the knob a little.
No, the twisty boy.
No, I know the twisty.
Oh shit! Nobody got that.
The audio listeners,
listeners, and the visual listeners, because the camera wasn't on me. Nope, everybody's just confused. All right. Anyways, listen. If you're like me, guy like me, not good at reading, just pick an anime you like. Because I assume most of us watching right now are just anime watchers. An anime you like, it has a novel. Try the manga. If maybe not the manga, try the novel. Give it a shot.
Hell yeah.
Power through it. Say, read? Oh, fuck. God, I'm stupid. Let me reread that paragraph again. Let me reread that chapter again. Just do it. And then at some point, you'll find your groove. I did it. And now I'm actually reading. I'm enjoying it. Someone who's only read 1 or 2 books in his entire life that was not for book reports. Someone who didn't read the books for the book reports, Zach.
Oh, don't worry. I didn't either.
I read 1 or 2 books outside of book reports. For book reports, I probably read like 2 books out of every single book report I've ever done from preschool to high school.
Oh my gosh, dude.
The only ones I remember is Huckleberry Finn and Maze Runner.
Maze Runner was a good book.
That was a good book.
It was a good
But
book.
I only read it because
you had to.
Because I had to. You see what I'm getting?
Yeah, for me, I always just read like summaries of chapters and stuff and use that for my book reports. But for all of the normies, for all the people who don't watch anime, I think a good good way to translate this to something outside of anime is pick a movie or like a series of movies or even a TV series that's based on a book, and find the source material for that and read it, because it's a lot more interesting when you're able to sit down and, like Arthur was saying, use that source material and be able to use that context, the context of you knowing the characters, knowing the general outline of the story, and being able to take that and apply it to a novel.
You know how it's kind of like rewatching an anime.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. I never thought about it like that.
It's like rewatching an anime, bro.
Because, okay, to elaborate, we already talked about this. We already elaborated. Let me do it again. So
let me elaborate on my elaboration.
So, whenever I watch anime with you, it's your first time. It's my time rewatching. So I always let you know, like, this is really cool for me because I am seeing so many details that I missed. It's that idea. It's like, yeah, I really enjoyed the anime the first time I watched it, you know? But you can only focus on, we're humans, you know, we can only focus on so much. There's art. You didn't even hear it, you're fine. Our attention spans, it's just not that high. We're just humans. This is how it works, you know?
Right.
We're not perfect. We can only focus on so much. Even if we try, we can only focus on so much. What if humans used more than 10% of their brain, or however the fuck that quote was? So rewatching the anime, you're like, why would you rewatch the same exact story? You already know what's going to happen. Of course I know what's going to happen already. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different experience. I'm looking for the
little details,
the finer details that I missed that made my original watch even better this time around.
And that, my friend, is why I like talking about anime with you. Because a lot of times it's your second time watching. And a lot of times, some of the stuff that you catch is also stuff that I caught on my initial watch for some fucking reason. And so we could just sit down and talk about, like, for example, just for the sake of, like, having an my brain is melting.
It's so take another sip, Zach. Take another sip.
Okay, wait, hang on.
Here we go. Yep. All right, there you go.
So for the sake of an example, No Game No Life. We were sitting and talking about how the outlines for all of the characters and everything was in like a red.
Oh no, you didn't notice that at first.
Oh, you are so right.
No, that's an example of what I'm trying to exemplize. Whoa, okay, that was an interesting word.
Exemplify.
Exemplify that. All right, on to the so that I think for me saying those things while we're watching it in real time, when I bring it up, that shows an example of the things that you might have missed.
Right.
And as a live example, that enhanced your initial watch. Because now you're like, oh, that's so cool. Why do people watch like Easter egg videos of their movies and stuff? Marvel movies and shit, breakdowns.
Because it's interesting.
Because it's interesting.
And
you miss things that you find things that you missed.
You miss things that you find.
You miss things that you find.
Bro, okay. I think it's so fascinating. Just the sheer amount of attention to detail goes into everything that you see that is even remotely in the mainstream and in the anime space. It's even stuff that people have never heard of. Mm-hmm. It's like just the sheer amount of time and energy and love that went into these projects, these shows, these movies, whatever it may be. And it's just absolutely insane. And you can't just watch it once.
You can't. There's too much information overload.
Exactly.
Like I said, we as human beings, it's just we can't take in everything. It's just not how that works. We take in what we need. Our eyes take in what we want to. We understand the brain, nerve system, that type of shit. My colon, we take in what we want. Yeah. The human eye only sees what it wants to see. Futaba said that. We perceive what we want to perceive. After we've already perceived the story, the characters, the voice, everything, all the development, and we watch it again, you already have that. Human eye, brain, all right, it's already ingested. Let's keep watching and see what else we find. That is how this thing inside our head works. We look, the thing inside our head, we search. It searches for things. It finds new information and adds it. If it's the same information, it's already there. Who cares? It might go back into that same bank and enhance it so you remember it more. I mean, there's so many shows that I watched, and I even told you, where I've only watched it once, and it's been like Demon Slayer. Yeah. I watched that while it was, well, not while it was airing, but close to while it was airing, and I watched it once, and I loved that show. And then we rewatched it, and I thought I knew about it, but I didn't. I forgot a lot about it, and now it's back in my brain. That memory already existed, but now it's enhanced it, along with another portion of everything that I missed.
And the movie.
And the movie. There's so much more to, the brain just wants information. And if it already has that information, it'll put it back there again, or it'll put it back, like, okay, I already know that. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. All right. I want more. That is how we do this, how us as humans, we do things, Zach. That's how
You're just like, that is as humans how it works.
I am a human function robot.
Robot. I am American human. I like cheeseburger. Yeah, but and the same thing can be applied from watching a show and then reading the source material.
Yes.
Because you can pick up on so much more information, and there's so much more detail that they just had to leave out for the sake of time on these shows. And, like you were saying, it just adds so much to it. And there's so much detail that they're able to go into, and they can paint such a beautiful picture just by using fucking words, and it's the most fascinating thing in the world when you're able to get into that mindset and be able to create that own world in your head, and then be able to enhance it with the preconceived notion of like you've already seen the show and what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And I think that is fucking dope, dude.
It's dope, bruh.
It's dope, bruh.
I don't know, so much convincing in these past couple episodes. It's a bunch of convincing, telling people what to think, to think more about things.
Well, I mean, there are going to be some people who just want to do things a little bit differently.
I know, and there's a psychological word for it, but I forgot. But it's the same thing. It's like no matter how many facts you present to them, they're just gonna keep believing in their thing because it's what they believe in. There's a word for that. It's a psychological word. I learned it in psychology, but I forgot. It's been fucking forever. But
My mic smells really weird.
well, I have 2 layers I have to sniff through before I smell my mic, so you know. Anyways,
Dude,
but,
honestly, I think that we could talk around in circles all day, but I'm super fucking tired.
Yeah.
Like we recorded
we recorded for a while, and we've been all around all day, and last weekend was pretty hectic. But all I want to say is, look, how do I tie this back to Amazon stuff? A feeling of
read a book.
No, I mean, wait, that's not how hey, whoa, chill, bro. My poster! I'm just joking. Basically, what I want to say is, like, if I had to tie it back to Amazon and brick and mortar stores, what I'm basically just saying is, what are you doing?
Read a book.
Okay. Well, the joke is already dead.
I know.
It took too long.
I know.
Basically, yeah, read a book in the same way as that the true experience is always going to be better than an artificial one. Or not an artificial one, but a going into a store is as human beings, as people who prefer tactility and being in the moment and touching and feeling and using all of our senses and being inside an environment. That stuff is important. So that's why probably brick and mortar stores are going to stay for a while, even though places like Amazon, it's like, you know, it's just too easy, you know? And
yeah.
Let me put it like this, all right? This enters a different topic, which we do not have time for, but I'll summarize it like this. And then we might talk about it another time. How far, I put it in the doc too, it's like, how far can technology really advance before we as humans no longer enjoy it? I guess is the best way to put it. Put an example. In like sci-fi movies and stuff, we see keyboards in like hologram keyboards, and we're just tapping away, doing things.
But we have those now.
We do have those now. There are phones, but nothing will beat being able to press a key in. Because as human beings, that tactility is really important. I mean, imagine if, okay, let me put this keyboard. You can't really, it's really hard. Okay, here we go. Imagine if I'd have to do this. That would be cool, but that just can't beat something like this with tactility, you know? It just can't. I just can't do this. It would be too weird. I mean, have you ever, like, even typing on my iPad, you know? I mean, I can do it. It's a flat surface, but I bought a keyboard for it. Sorry. I bought a keyboard for it, you know? We need, as human beings, we need physical tactility. I mean, we need that type of, that touch sense. I mean, or even in a more psychological, or in a more like a broader sense. When we were in the pandemic, the thing that we really missed was physical contact with other people during quarantine and stuff, right?
Right.
You know, we needed that. Like, we can use our we were in Discord and we're chatting and stuff, and you know, it's passable. We could talk with our friends still through text, through Discord and calling and stuff, and emails if you do that, you know. It's possible to still be connected with the people, but nothing will beat interpersonal face-to-face conversation.
Right. And I think that is like one of my favorite things about doing the show is I get to see you once a week.
Yeah, man.
And like, you know, just have that face-to-face contact, because we
can't do this over Discord, Zach.
No.
There's no way we can do this over Discord. I mean, we've done it. I mean, we've done like the Minecraft series, like playing Minecraft and chat. That's fine. But this and that are different.
Right.
That is fine. This is also fine. They're different things, and this is better just because we're humans, Zach. You know, we're not
I enjoy looking at your eyeballs and being able to see like the facial expressions to
Yeah.
be able to, you know,
To judge what to say, how to say things next, when to interject, when to interrupt,
right.
when to say a joke, when not to say a joke, you know?
Yeah.
That split second of Discord delay is enough to make a joke oddly timed
Or not funny.
or not funny,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're humans, Zach. We cannot stray far from tactility. So
I like being able to, you know, God. I'm sorry. I like being able to touch things and accidentally
come
drop
on, if you're
them.
gonna drop it, at least drop the one I gave because that one's yours. Don't drop mine. Come on, man.
I'm sorry, okay? I left it at home. But being able to just like touch things and, you know, see things with my own eyeballs instead of
Our
through a
senses,
screen.
Zach.
Yeah, senses.
Senses, we're humans. There's 5 of those, sometimes 6, depending if you're cool or not. Raise your hand if you have 6. Get fucked.
All right, fine. I'll see myself out. But yeah, it's an entirely different experience when you're limited to what you can experience, you know, and that's when shit gets really weird. And that's a part of the reason why I like shopping at brick and mortar stores is because you're able to just peruse and walk around and, you know, get your steps in, do what we've always done, which is just kind of walk around, look at stuff, you know, pick up something, look at the label, just like, oh, wow, that's a shit ton of calories. Put it in the basket. You know, it's
not a calories. Shot. Well, I'm just put it back in now.
yeah, just the act of being in the vicinity of other people and being able to interact with other people, even with it if it's at a surface level. Like, there's this one guy that works at a McDonald's by my work. I see him in the mornings when I go and grab a McDonald's coffee because I'm disgusting.
Coffee is coffee. I don't care, bro.
Yeah,
listen. All right.
I mean, it's not great, but
it's coffee.
But it's coffee. It's caffeine.
You put creamer in it and just drown out the taste and just like, all right, whatever. It's what it is.
Yeah. And so I'll see this guy every morning, and you know, just that limited interaction that I have with this guy who works at McDonald's, who's like old enough to be my dad, and you know, there's that interpersonal connection there because you're able to make an interpersonal connection.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, as much as you would like to be able to do that with any interaction that you have online, you know, there's just you can't put a face to the words that are being said, and you can't see the facial expressions. You can't see the way that your facial expressions interact with your voice, because when you talk, your face moves, and when your face moves, your facial expressions move.
Yeah.
And so just to be able to have that visual context of what's going on, it makes it so that you can actually understand what the hell is going on. I don't know how this tangent got here, but yeah, read a book.
go to your local store.
Yeah.
Support local businesses. But if you want to use Amazon, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's basically I opened with the question, how do you feel about online shopping and stuff? Try kind of what's the word? Giving the impression that we should be against online shopping. But what it should be is a tool.
Yeah.
An extra, a convenience tool. Maybe not a convenience tool, but another tool to shopping. Something that you could also do along with shopping.
But it should not be your main source.
It should not be your main source.
Shopping for anything. I agree with that for sure. And
that's all it is.
Yeah. And I think that if you can't find something at your local store, fuck it, dude. Buy it on Amazon. And if you could find it used on eBay, fuck that shit, dude.
Fuck that, bro. Fuck shit.
Who cares?
Who cares, bro? You're just living your life, bro. Yeah. Just do their thing, bro. Who the fuck? Rich man, shit, man. Fuck, man. Shit, dog, man. Fuck.
Shit, dog.
Shit, dog. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck.
Okay, this
All right.
episode is
Thank you
derailed.
guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys very much for watching this episode of the Uneducation Station. Of course, Coffee, Patreon, which we haven't set up yet. Spotify.
Every time we say we haven't set it up yet, I just feel so bad.
No, it's okay.
To be fair, it is set up, but it's just not ready. It's not prime time.
No,
The idea is ready, though.
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're the one setting it up, so you can take your sweet ass time because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Anyway, so
Everything is down below. Click its things.
my shit's down there. Arthur's shit's down there. I started posting on YouTube again, which has been really fun.
Go check out his YouTube. I think in the description I haven't been linking your YouTube because you never posted, but now that you are again, I totally can do that now.
I'm tempted to just start posting once a week or some shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
I think that'd be really fun.
Zach's YouTube re-debut.
Yeah.
Zach PNW.
It's I think it's kind of the moment that this channel passes my channel in subscribers, that's when I'm going to be super stoked. But obviously, it's going to be a while until we pass the subs.
It's going
on
to
your
be, hey,
account.
you know what? We're going to keep going at it.
Hell
so
yeah.
No worries.
Here's the cool part. And I know that we said we were going to end the episode, but psych, bitch.
Psych, bitch. extra content.
I think the coolest part is that this is just kind of something that we do for fun. And it just so happens to be on the internet. Like, there was a solid 4 months when we weren't posting any of this stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was, we quite literally had a 15 episode backlog.
Yeah, we weren't uploading, but we were still recording every week. 1 to 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Sometime we might have done a third. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh God. Dude,
although we only
anime special.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did 3 episodes in a row. Yeah.
Dude, that was.
Although they were
so
only
brutal.
an hour long. That was back when our quota was just an hour.
The Your Lie episode was over an hour and a half.
It was, yeah.
But anyways.
And then Bunny goes every episode. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun when we kind of have this little thing that we do that, some people enjoy watching. And I think that that's super dope because I don't understand how anyone can fucking sit here and listen to me talk for 2 hours. I don't know how you do it, but it's still chill. It's still super fun. We're going to keep doing it until we get sick of each other, which is either going to happen real soon or not for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. Okay. You didn't hear it. Anyways. Yeah, it's going to be a bit, but hey, we've been enjoying, we've been having a lot of fun and yep. There we go. Yep. Anyways, dude, this is the first couple episodes, man. Look how far we've came. Look at it, bro. Look how far we've came. Look at your angle.
I know my angle looked like shit.
And now look at it.
Right? Look at you, man.
Look at me, man. Shit, dog. Man, fuck, man. Shit, dude. Hey, man.
Okay, I know that we're going to sit here all day.
I know we are going to. But look, what I'm saying is we're having a lot of fun. And we're happy that you guys are in for the ride with us. Whether there's a lot of you or a little bit of you. We're still going to be recording and hopefully rebuilding our backlog. We'll see though.
That's gonna take a while.
That's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, everything is down below that subscribe button. So make sure you go check everything out.
If you like the video, hit the thumbsy uppy button. If you didn't like the video, there's another button there too. If you didn't like the video, then the door's over there. Actually, the door's right there.
The door's over there, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love your face. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you have a good day, night. Time zones are weird. I love your face. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This is what English dub sounds like.
This is what English dub sounds, bro. That's so great.